Part 115. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1141. Facing a group of menacing disciples. On the contrary, Xiaoxian acted calmly, as if he didn't take them to heart at all, and just said, "Please take a look, is there something different in this demon snake's spirit bone? There is no aura of ancient bloodline in this. The aura of ancient bloodline. It seems, there really isn't one. Indeed, if this demonic snake spirit bone is real, there must be the aura of ancient bloodline in it, but it doesn't exist here. Doesn't that explain the problem?" Xiaoxian said directly. His words hit the nail on the head, and for a moment, Bai Feng, who had shouted the loudest just now, also became mute. No matter how stubborn he is, there is no way to explain it at this time. Old man Bai Yan was also surprised. He had seen it just now. The appearance of the demonic snake spiritual bone was indeed extremely gorgeous. It looked expensive and could be mistaken for the real thing. Who knew it was actually a fake? He really didn't feel the ancient aura inside just now. That also proves that the Spirit Snake Alliance is not sincere in their alliance this time. Snake AO Protector. Spirit Snake Alliance is also a major sect in Nanzan Haizu. I didn't expect that it would do something so ridiculous. Teasing me with a fake demon snake spirit bone? Do you really think that I, the people of White Flame Valley, don't have anger? The white flames in old Manbian's hands instantly rose. In an instant, the snow-white flames tightly wrapped Xiao. Under the blazing temperature, Xiao's face was filled with pain. Snake Ao originally planned to use his skills to resist. However, just as he was about to resist, he felt that this white flame was not only burning his body, but also his soul. What a terrifying power! Is this the legendary way of white flames? As expected of the master of White Flame Valley, old man Bai Yan's strength is really unfathomable. For a moment, Xiao felt that in the territory of Bian Valley, if the old man Bian wanted to kill him, it would be a matter of a blink of an eye. I understand my mistake. Please, sect leader Bai, please spare me for the sake of the Spirit Snake Alliance. Snake Ao's reaction was very quick. Seeing that the situation was not good, he knelt down on the ground and began to beg for mercy. But he said it. Old man Bai Yan's face was still somewhat ugly. Speaking of which, as a dragon god realm, it was only natural for him to handle or even kill Snake Ao, who was half-stepping into the dragon god realm. But judging from the meaning behind Xiao's words, he also took the initiative to mention the Spirit Snake Alliance. Isn't this a threat to him? According to old man Bai Yan's temper, he really had the idea of killing Snake Ao on the spot. However, thinking of the overall situation of Bian Valley, he still restrained his movements. Speaking of which, you are quite brave. However, do you really think that if you mention the Spirit Snake Alliance, I won't dare to actually kill you? Old man Bai Yan's face was ashen. Hearing this, cold sweat broke out on Xiao's forehead. In fact, he was also betting that the old man Bai Yan would take the overall situation into consideration and not be as knowledgeable as him. But now, he was really a little nervous. If the bet was wrong, my life is gone. Now in front of so many people. He didn't dare to express anything too much. He just shut up and lowered his head, not daring to say a word. On the other side, Bai Feng and other Bai Yang disciples, who had just supported Xiao, all had burning pain on their faces, as if they had been slapped several times. On the contrary, Xiaoxian remained calm and composed. It was as if he had just done a simple thing without any emotion. This made the snake even more angry and grinned proudly. Master Xiaoxian. Thanks to you today. If you hadn't taken action, I would have been deceived by them today. Old man Bai Yan raised his hands and said politely to Xiaoxian. As he spoke, he also had shortness of breath and coughed several times, and his face turned pale. Seeing this, Bai Ling and Bai Feng also hurriedly stepped forward to help the old man Bai Yan calm down. It took a long time for the old man Bai Yan to return to normal. "It's okay. I was running the technique just now and accidentally hit the power of the black mist. Just wait for a while and it will be fine." Old man Bai Yan waved his hand. "That's good." Bai Ling also looked worried. "When it comes to this matter, it's all the fault of the snake." Wan Long Xiao Xian sighed with emotion. "If you were still at the peak level as sect leader Bai, you wouldn't be in such a miserable state in Bian Valley now." "Xiao Xian, are you here specifically to ridicule our White Flame Valley? If that's the case, don't blame me for being rude." After hearing Xiao Xian's words, Bai Feng said coldly, "What else do you want to do today?" "I don't have any other ideas. I just thought that I could help Sect Master Bai heal some of his injuries, that's all," Xiao Xian said calmly. At this time, the disciples of Bian Valley were a little shocked. Xiao Xian also said similar things before, saying that he wanted to help the old man Bai Yan treat his injuries. But basically no one takes the sentence to heart. After all, this does sound a bit unbelievable. How can ordinary people have such ability? Ever since old man Bai Yan was injured. Over the years, Bian Valley has spent a lot of resources and energy on treating old man Bian's injuries, but in the end, no doctor could treat him well. Unexpectedly, Xiao Xian was so confident today, saying that he could cure it. Is this bullshit a bit too big? Xiao Xian? Just you. Why do you think you are a mere blue god realm? Who do you think you are? Do you really think that you just happen to recognize the demon snake spirit bone and can cure our sect master's injury? Bai Feng looked disdainful. For people like Bai Feng, Xiao Xian might not even be interested in talking to him. But today, since he is ready to make an alliance between Yuling sect and Bian Valley, he must give Bian Valley some benefits, and treating the injuries of the old man Bian is the simplest way. Therefore, Xiao Xian also smiled lightly and said directly, "Then I will tell you the truth. I am really a doctor, and I may be the only doctor in the eastern part of Nanzan Hai's who can treat sect master Bai well." "You? Ha ha ha. I've seen arrogant people, but I've never seen someone as arrogant as you." Bai Feng couldn't help laughing. "Who do you think you are? Do you really think that you are worthy of our sect leader's treatment?" But before he finished speaking, he was interrupted by the old man Bai Yan. "Bai Feng, that's enough. Although young Master Xiao Xian is only a 5-star member of the Blue God realm, he is not much stronger than you in terms of strength. Please don't humiliate yourself." Old man Bian slightly cupped his hands and said to Xiao Xian, "I have long heard that a genius boy has appeared in the Yuling sect recently. I saw it today and it is indeed extraordinary. If I guessed correctly, you entered the Yuling Pil Pagoda hundreds of years ago. That talented disciple on the 9th floor, right? Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors." Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1142. Hear this. Xiao Xian couldn't help being stunned. He really didn't expect that old man Bian would suddenly mention this matter. During his trip to the Yuling Pil Tower, even though he walked into the 9th floor, it caused a sensation in Yuling City at that time. But in the end, time passed. Hundreds of years have passed, and this matter has long been forgotten. Even the Fang Dan Society, the organization at that time, never looked for Xiao Xian. And Xiao Xian himself, after gaining the understanding of Yuling Dao from Master Yuling, quietly made a fortune and never mentioned to others what happened in the Yuling Dan Pagoda. Therefore, even Han Xian didn't know much about what happened at that time. Who knew that today, old man Bai Yan would bring up old things again and suddenly bring up the past of Yuling Dan Pagoda? Is it possible that there is some purpose behind this? Reply to Sect Master Bai. At that time, the boy was also lucky. He entered the 9th floor of the Fish Spirit Pill Tower, and his soul power was somewhat improved. Xiao Xian still said modestly. However, Old Man Bian has been the master of Bian Valley for so many years, so he is naturally an old fox. At this time, it was immediately obvious that Xiao Xian was not telling the truth. After the Dan meeting ended, Xiao Xian stayed alone in the Yuling Dan Pagoda for hundreds of years. Although, the time inside the Fish Spirit Pill Tower may be different from the outside world. But Xiao Xian also stayed in the Yuling Dan Pagoda for a long time. If he said that he was just staying there to cultivate his soul, Old Man Bai Yan would not believe it. However, at this moment, Xiao Xian did not take the initiative to say it, and he also not much to say. That's fine. Since Mr. Xiao knows medical skills, please help me take a look. It would be great if he can be cured. Old Man Bai Yan had a smile on his face, speaking of which, I haven't hired the doctor I wanted for such a long time. Say it. Not only the disciples of Bian Valley, but also Xiao who was hiding behind Wei Nyanyo were shocked. You know, Snake Ao came under the orders of Snake Wanlong this time. One was to kill Xiao Xian, and the other was to form an alliance with Bian Valley. Right now, he had offended Bian Valley by sending a fake demonic snake spirit because of his cleverness. If Xiao Xian was allowed to successfully treat the old man Bian again, the Yuling sect and Bian Valley would inevitably form an alliance. Wouldn't he be in vain this time? Returned. Snake Ao, the leader of the Spirit Snake Alliance, Snake Wanlong, knows the temper. If Snake Wanlong's request is not fulfilled this time, returning to the Spirit Snake Alliance will probably end badly. Thinking of this, Snake Ao couldn't help but want to step forward. But the next second, he suddenly noticed that Bai Feng, standing not far from him, shook his head and signaled him not to worry. Saw this signal. Snake Ao was stunned for a moment, then his eyes became a little more suspicious, and he asked directly to himself, could it be that Bai Feng has some arrangements? In that case, I will wait and see. Bai Yang drawing room. After Xiao Xian got the approval of the old man Bai Yan, he also got the opportunity to get closer. He slowly released his soul and began to search for the ladder. As a person in the Blue God realm, I used my soul to search for a Dragon God realm person. Thank you. Xiao Xian smiled. On the one hand, it's because I got some benefits from the Yuling Pill Pagoda, and on the other hand, it's because the Yuling sect has helped me during this time. This black mist is like tarsal gangrene, always lurking in his sea of energy. No matter how he uses the power of the avenue, he cannot make this black mist disappear. On the contrary, this black mist still carries endless. The corrosion is constantly eroding his chi high. Old Man Bian couldn't help but ask. Under such a state, Old Man Bai Yan is still a little worried. Does he think Xiao Xian is a little rushed? It's a tough on-the-nose treatment. Old Man Bian could only rely on the power of his soul to forcibly dispel the black mist. If Old Man Bai Yan makes any fluctuations in his soul, it may cause an extremely powerful soul backlash to Xiao Xian, ranging from severe injuries to death. At first, for these words, for such a long time, he has been suffering from the pain caused by the black fog. Now with Xiao Xian's help, he finally sees the hope of completely eradicating the black fog. However, when the power of the soul in Xiao Xian was released, Old Man Bai Yan's worries completely dissipated. He discovered that although Xiao Xian was only in the Kang God realm, the power of the soul had already reached the God realm. Hearing this, Xiao Xian felt a little embarrassed. Sect leader Bai was too complimentary. The disciple had only just joined the Yuling sect not long ago. Now the Yuling sect is at a critical moment. However, the disciple also noticed that there are also people in the Bian Valley. There are many young talents. Such things are by no means just talk. Old Man Bai Yan's eyes lit up. Seeing Xiao Xian preparing for treatment seriously. It's a bit of a fluke to say the least. It happens quite often. Therefore, the power of ordinary doctors' souls is not very weak, and few doctors are brave enough to dare to cross the realm to treat people. You are actually a divine soul. Thank you, little friend. Thinking of this, old man Bian became a little excited. Ever since he fought with Snake Wanlong, his body had been inexplicably filled with a strange black mist. Without any choice. So this time. Is there really any hope of getting rid of it? Perhaps, there is also a chance to help him cure the black mist on his body. Old man Bai Yan shook his head helplessly and said no more. Amazing, amazing. Old man Bian still couldn't help but smile and praise, you are truly a hero born from a young age. At such a young age, you can raise your soul level to the divine level. Such strength is definitely not something that ordinary people can achieve. If I, Bian Valley, disciple, with your achievements, why should I worry that Bian Valley will not be revitalized? Seeing that Xiao Xian was also a divine soul in the divine realm, old man Bai Yan was really looking forward to it. He vaguely felt that maybe Xiao Xian could really create a miracle and help him get rid of the black mist. But what is helpless is that he is the only cultivator of the divine soul in the entire White Flame Valley. It is too difficult to seek help from the divine soul. Under the power of these souls, the black mist in old Manbian's body gradually began to lose its strength and slowly dissipated. At the critical time of diagnosis and treatment. It's unbelievable. Could it be that there are so many benefits in the Dan Pagoda? Can it also help you break through to the realm of the soul? Then, powerful and majestic divine soul power was instilled into the body of the old man Bai Yan. If such a thing were to happen to others, I'm afraid they wouldn't have the guts. After all, if you can cultivate to the dragon god realm, your soul power will also enter the god realm. Such a powerful soul power, even if it just fluctuates casually, is definitely not something ordinary people can do. Bearable. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1143. Time passed by minute by minute. Under the elimination of the two divine souls of Xiao Xian and Old Man Bai Yan, the black mist in Old Man Bai Yan's sea of qi began to gradually dissipate, just like the remaining snow in winter meeting the sunshine. Outside the meeting hall, Bai Ling and other disciples waited nervously. They also all know that Old Man Bian is the undoubted backbone of Bian Valley, and no matter what, he cannot have any problems. Although they think so, the reality is not always what they want. After Old Man Bai Yan was injured this time, Bai Yan Gu also thought of various ways to prepare the best conditions for his treatment. But the final result was not very good. Facing that annoying black mist, most doctors could only shake their heads and sigh, expressing their inability to do anything. This was also a matter that made everyone in Bian Valley extremely worried. And here's the thing to know. Those doctors who can be invited by Bian Valley are all in the little golden god realm, and their soul power has reached the peak of the real realm. These people are considered the best even if they are placed in the entire Nanzan Hai's Hu. Now, Xiao Xian took the initiative to ask Yang to treat the old man Bai Yan. In the entire White Flame Valley, not many people actually had hope for him. Although Xiao Xian had seen through Snake Ao's demon snake spirit bone before, more people still thought that this was just Xiao Xian's good luck. When it comes to treating old man Bai Yan, this requires real skills, and it is not something Xiao Xian can do casually. What's more, even some Golden God Realm doctors specially invited from the central part of the country couldn't do anything before. What ability can a Xiao Xian have? Junior sister Ling don't have too much hope. So many doctors before were unable to do anything about master's injuries. I'm afraid there is nothing that this little Xiao Xian can do. Bai Feng came to Bai Ling's side, sighed and said deliberately. But after he said these words, Bai Ling next to him raised a sideways glance. What? According to senior brother Bai Feng, don't you want master's injuries to get better? No, no, no. Bai Feng also instantly realized that he had said the wrong thing. I've heard about it a long time ago. Senior brother Bai Feng believes that he is gifted and the resources in the White Flame Valley are not enough to support him in entering the Dragon God realm. He has long wanted to leave the White Flame Valley and join the Spirit Snake Alliance. Bai Ling looked unkind. If you really think so, senior brother, Protector Snake AO is here today, which is a good opportunity. I believe Master is magnanimous and will not care about these things. Say it. Many White Flame Valley disciples nearby immediately focused their attention. In the White Flame Valley, old man Bai Yan only accepted 2 apprentices, one was Bai Feng and the other was Bai Ling. The 2 of them can be accepted as apprentices by the old man Bai Yan, so their talents are certainly not bad. But later on, Bai Ling practiced even harder and reached the Little Golden God realm early on. On the contrary, as a senior brother, Bai Feng was so ambitious that his realm stagnated at the peak of the Blue God realm, unable to make any progress. Therefore, Bai Feng also became the laughing stock of private discussions among the disciples in Bian Valley. But recently, Bai Feng came into contact with the Spirit Snake Alliance from somewhere, and actually came up with the idea of joining the Spirit Snake Alliance. He had no intention of practicing every day, and focused all his energy on winning over the Spirit Snake Alliance. Regarding these changes in Bai Feng, although old man Bai Yan was dissatisfied, he had nothing to do. After all, the Spirit Snake Alliance is indeed the strongest in the eastern part of Nanzan Haizhu, and Bian Valley has to avoid the edge for the time being. But now, Bai Ling exposed Bai Feng's background in front of so many people, and the latter's face was naturally a little embarrassed. All the disciples of Bian Valley were still doing their own business on the spot, but after hearing Bai Ling's words, they became excited and surrounded the meeting hall. As long as I am still in White Flame Valley, I will never agree to the cooperation between White Flame Valley and Spirit Snake Alliance. Let you be arrogant now. When the old man goes west, I'll see how stubborn you can be. In the meeting hall, her exclamation suddenly came. As soon as he entered the door, he saw old man Bai Yan's face glowing red. He changed his sick look before and looked at Xiao Xian with a smile on his face. Maybe Bian Valley will really form an alliance with Yuling sect. Master, are you really well? Bai Feng blushed and said, if one day, I really betray the master, all of you can kill me with one sword. Damn it! Likewise, it attracted the attention of many Bian Valley disciples. It's all the Xiao Xian's fault. No. Now Bai Yang is in decline. Not long after Bai Ling entered the meeting hall, Bai Ling said without hesitation, if senior brother Bai Feng really likes the Spirit Snake Alliance, it would be better to take the initiative to join. Don't worry, Master will not blame you. After saying that, Bai Ling walked straight into the meeting hall. He couldn't help but walked quickly towards the meeting hall. He understood that if the old man Bai Yan was really healed of all his injuries and was treated by Xiao Xian of the Yuling sect, this would definitely affect the future of Bai Yan. Gu's alliance decision. Xiao Xian, you'd better pray that you don't fall into my hands, Bai Feng, otherwise, I will make your life worse than death. Isn't this impossible? Just relying on Xiao Xian, a 5-star blue god realm. Junior sister, where did you hear these rumors? These disciples also know that although Bai Feng is not a good character, what Dan said still makes some sense. Bai Feng, became my master when I was 10 years old. I already swore at that time that I would follow my master all my life. How could I betray my master? Bai Feng's face was as ugly as it could be, and he snorted coldly, damn girl, you are so stupid. If I hadn't seen that you still have some good looks, I would have been rude to you long ago. Bai Ling said this. If you want to rise, you may have to form an alliance. Although the Spirit Snake Alliance is arrogant and domineering, it is undoubtedly the best partner. If that's the case, wouldn't all Baifeng's long planning be wasted? In the future, I'm afraid he won't be able to raise his head in front of Xiao. Baifeng said and quickly walked into the meeting hall. Say it. Even Baifeng and the disciples around him looked surprised. Can it really be cured? Bai Ling and other disciples from Bian Valley withdrew their doubtful gazes, but then, Baifeng continued, Junior sister Bai Ling, speaking of it, the Spirit Snake Alliance is indeed relatively powerful now. If we in Bian Valley want to rise, perhaps, we can only cooperate with the Spirit Snake Alliance, right? But he said he didn't believe it. Baifeng couldn't believe it, looked at the younger brother beside him, shook his head and said, absolutely impossible, it must be that dead girl Bai Ling who made such a fuss. Having said that, are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1144. Thank you, little friend Xiaoxian, for being here. I never expected that little friend Xiaoxian could elevate his soul realm to the divine realm at such a young age. What an amazing talent. Thanks to little friend Xiaoxian, all the black mist in my body has dissipated today. Old Man Bian was in a good mood and said with a smile, you can say that today, little friend Xiaoxian is my most distinguished guest in Bian Valley. Say it. Everyone in the White Flame Valley was also shocked. They all know that old man Bai Yan doesn't often praise others, and he is extremely strict even with his two disciples, Bai Feng and Bai Ling. Today, Xiaoxian was so polite when facing him. It really surprised everyone. Master, could it be said that your injuries are really completely healed? Bai Ling couldn't help but shed tears in his eyes. During this period, Bai Yang didn't know how much he had suffered because of old man Bai Yan's injury. She was wronged, even though she felt very sad when she thought about it now. Good. I didn't expect that little friend Xiaoxian could raise his soul level to the divine level at such a young age. It was really thanks to his power that he was able to remove all the black mist from my master's body. Old man Bai Yan smiled. Originally there were many disciples in Bai Yan Valley who were suspicious, but after hearing the last words of the old man Bai Yan, all of them were filled with surprise. Has all the black mist been removed? You know, since old man Bian was eroded by the black mist, his body has been deteriorating and he cannot exert his full strength as a dragon god. Therefore, Bian Valley has to stop bowing in front of the Spirit Snake Alliance. There is no disciple in the entire Bian Valley who does not hope that the old man Bian can recover as soon as possible so that Bian Valley can stand in the eastern part of Nanzan Haizu with dignity again. After hearing these words today, some disciples in Bian Valley could not even hold back tears. For them, this was great news. Each of the disciples and elders hurriedly congratulated the old man Bai Yan, and at the same time they all changed their previous gloominess. In response, old man Bian bowed his hands to Xiaoxian respectfully, Master Xiaoxian, I can fully recover because of your strength. I represent the thousands of disciples in Bian Valley, thank you very much. Seeing this, Xiaoxian couldn't care less about the loss of his soul and quickly stepped forward to help him. Does he know? In the Bian Valley, old man Bian is the talker in the absolute sense. In this territory, you cannot provoke such a person no matter what. On the contrary, if we can build a good relationship with old man Bai Yan, then the alliance and cooperation between Yuling sect and Bai Yan Valley will be a matter of course. Think of this. The faces of Xiaoxian and Long Tai also felt a little more relieved. They could roughly feel that after treating old man Bai Yan this time, there should be no problems with the cooperation between Yuling sect and Bai Yan Gu. Because old man Bai Yan's strength has recovered, Bai Yan Gu's strength will naturally go further. And with the strong support from Bai Yan Gu, the Yuling sect may not necessarily lose in future battles with the Snake Spirit Alliance. Sect Master Bai. Are you, really completely healed? The most uncomfortable thing at the moment was Snake Ao. He couldn't believe that Xiaoxian, an ordinary 5-star in the Kang God realm, could actually heal the injuries of the old man Bian in the Dragon God realm in front of him. This is simply unbelievable. You know, for such a long time, as far as the Spirit Snake Alliance knows, countless doctors have come to Bian Valley, but not surprisingly, they can't do anything to treat the injury of the old man Bian. Congratulations to Sect Master Bai, congratulations to Sect Master Bai. At this moment, old man Bai Yan didn't have so many polite words to say. Snake Ao is half-stepped into the Dragon God realm, and he still has the blood of the ancient demon snake. He can be said to be a character who has stepped into the Dragon God realm with one foot. Who knew he would be so miserable today? Was he instantly killed by old man Bai Yan in less than a second? Snake Ao didn't dare to show any signs of neglect. He stood up in a hurry and ran outside. Perhaps against someone like Xiaoxian Longtai, he could kill him instantly with one move, but facing old man Bai Yan, it was not that simple. Even if they usually did something wrong, they would only get scolded a few times. It was rare to see old man Bai Yan lose his temper. It's normal to be killed by the latter in one move. Doesn't this prove that Xiaoxian's medical ability is more powerful than those doctors in the Golden God realm? Feel the tight binding on your body. How? Dr. Snake Ao Protector really thinks that there are no masters in my White Flame Valley, right? Snake Ao quickly put on a smiling face. But the next second, his entire body suddenly burned from the inside out, and the blazing pure white flame swallowed up Snake Ao instantly like a deadly flower. For a moment, he knew very well that although in terms of realm, he was considered to be in the half-step Dragon God realm, which seemed to be not much different from the old man Bai Yan, but only he knew that his half-step Dragon God realm was not that powerful. But now, this scene really surprised them. After feeling life is in danger. But today, facing the old man Bai Yan, he actually felt a sense of powerlessness. Does the Snake Protector have anything else to say? And Snake Ao was also frightened. Snake Ao's expression changed instantly. After entering the half-step Dragon God realm, he understood the way of space early. This. Old man Bai Yan turned his head and said directly with a bit of solemnity on his face, if you still have something to say, you might as well say it directly today. After saying this, old man Bai Yan also looked at Xiao with a stern look on his face. How? It was like facing an irresistible strong man. You, Sect Master Bai, please spare your life. I'm leaving right now, beg Sect Master Bai for mercy. Since Sect Master Bai can cure these diseases, it will be normal for the rise of Bian Valley in the future. Previously, Snake Ao used fake products to get through, which had already made old man Bai Yan even more angry. However, because of the face of the Spirit Snake Alliance, he didn't say much. Who knew that Snake Ao still dared to speak so brazenly here? Isn't this clearly looking down on Bai Yang? When they see old man Bai Yan, they are always very kind. This scene also shocked everyone present. Even Bai Ling and Bai Feng couldn't help but break out in cold sweat. Snake Ao's body was burned clean by the white flames, not even a dregs was left behind. Now he was cured by Xiaoxian? With the power of his realm, he can completely travel in short and medium distances in time and space. Even if he faces an ordinary strong person in the Golden God realm, he is enough to play with them at will. The aura from the old man Bai Yan was released, and his target was locked on Xiao, making him unable to move. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1145. Not far away. Seeing old man Bai Yan kill Snake Ao instantly, Xiaoxian and Long Tai were really happy. Before, they were a little worried. With Snake Ao here, Bian Valley might still have an ambiguous relationship with the Spirit Snake Alliance, which would affect the cooperation and alliance with the Yuling sect, but now their worries are completely gone. Old Manbian was able to kill Snake Ao in public, which also showed his attitude through actions. From now on, in my White Flame Valley, no one is allowed to mention cooperation with the Spirit Snake Alliance. Otherwise, they will be shot to death. The old Manbian said calmly, "Today I announce that Bian Valley will cooperate with the Yuling section. The two alliances will live and die together, and share wealth and honor. Say it." There were also discussions throughout the White Flame Valley. But soon, the disciples in the valley also celebrated happily. In recent days, the Spirit Snake Alliance has bullied and oppressed the disciples in the White Flame Valley. They have long hated the Spirit Snake Alliance. It's just that old man Bai Yan was injured before, so they could only endure it for the time being. Now that old man Bai Yan's injuries were all healed, they were naturally proud and celebrated. "Thank you so much, Master Bai." Xiao Xian also looked grateful. In fact, when he saw Xiao for the first time, he could feel the fierce murderous aura in the latter. He knows it too. If this wasn't in White Flame Valley, I'm afraid Snake Ao would have been unable to resist taking action. At the moment, Snake Ao was directly killed by Old Manbian, which actually showed the attitude of Old Manbian and Bian Valley. This is naturally the best thing for Xiao Xian. Little friend Xiao Xian can temporarily rest in my White Flame Valley for a few days. In a few days, I will go with you to Yuling City to discuss cooperation and alliance. Old Manbian said with a smile. After hearing this, Xiao Xian and Long Tai also felt relieved. After this period of contact, they could roughly tell that old man Bai Yan was not someone who just talked and would definitely do what he said. Since he said he would form an alliance with the Yuling sect, he would not go back on his words. On the other hand, if the prosperous old man Bai Yan appears in Yuling sect and reaches cooperation with Yuling sect, this will undoubtedly be a huge reassurance for Yuling sect. It can be said that what Xiao Xian did today saved the entire Yuling sect. The following few days, Xiao Xian and Long Tai also lived in Bian Valley peacefully. With the respect of the old man Bai Yan, Xiao Xian's status in Bian Valley is extremely transcendent. Even Bai Ling, who is the apprentice of the old man Bai Yan, is polite to him. The food and drink provided to him are of the best quality. "Master Xiao Xian, looking at your Dao strength, it seems that you are only 5 stars in the Blue God realm, but, why can you reach the Divine realm in the Divine Soul realm?" Bai Ling sighed, "What troubles me the most is the realm of the soul. I have just entered the real realm now. The Master said that if you want to enter the realm of the Golden God, the power of the soul must be strong." After a few days of contact, the relationship between Bai Ling and Xiao Xian is also becoming increasingly close. The old man Bai Yan seemed to be interested in bringing the two of them together. He often mentioned his little female apprentice in front of Xiao Xian, and all of them were words of praise. Xiao Xian also discovered that the little girl Bai Ling was much smarter than her senior brother Bai Feng. Although she is not old, her realm has reached the peak of Kangshen realm early. At this level of Dao, she is even much stronger than Xiao Xian. Moreover, he found that Bai Ling is also very talented in understanding Bian. Fierce and terrifying white flames. In the eyes of others, it is a terrifying power that is kept secret, but in Bai Ling's hands, it seems to be a toy. It can always be transformed into various forms. Finally, Bai Ling swallowed it in one gulp, as if those white flames were toys. However, Bai Ling looked relaxed from beginning to end. But it made Xiao Xian on the side tremble with fear. After all, he saw with his own eyes that old man Bai Yan only used a ball of white flame to directly burn to death Snake Ao, who was half a step into the Dragon God realm. Flames that can burn to death a person who is half a step into the Dragon God realm. It is enough to prove how powerful this white flame is. What's wrong? Are you afraid of these flames? Seeing Xiao Xian's frightened look, Bai Ling couldn't help but smile and said, "Actually, This flame is not that scary. I usually use flames to cook rice and vegetables, and it tastes very good. Do you want it? Try it? Forget it? Xiaoxian was still a little timid. Hey. Maybe it's because I have a natural affinity for flames. Bai Ling smiled. Master said that I am born with the talent to comprehend flames. It takes others several days to comprehend the way of flames, but I often only need a few hours. Hearing this, Xiaoxian also nodded secretly. He was not surprised by this. The old man with white eyes was not a fool. As the master of White Flame Valley, the disciples he accepted were naturally extremely talented people. Bai Ling and Bai Feng are the only two disciples accepted by the old man Bai Yan in Bian Valley. There is no doubt about their talent. However, Xiaoxian discovered that Bai Feng's character was indeed a little too bad. As a disciple of Bian Valley, he focused on speaking to the Spirit Snake Alliance. How can such a person gain a foothold in White Flame Valley? Alright. Since it's Miss Bai Ling's invitation, it would be a bit rude for me to refuse, wouldn't it? Xiaoxian said directly. Regarding Xiaoxian's words, Bai Ling also smiled and nodded, and continued, "Don't worry, the food I cooked is not that bad." "That's not what I meant." Xiaoxian was a little embarrassed. "Actually, our White Flame Valley is quite good. It is surrounded by mountains and rivers, has pleasant scenery, and is also rich in cultivation resources." Bai Ling walked with Xiaoxian and said, "You may not know that this White Flame Way not only has terrifying combat capabilities, but also has the effect of increasing the speed of cultivation. Hear this." Xiaoxian became interested, and at the same time he had some understanding in his heart. Bian Valley, as one of the major sects in the eastern part of Nanzan Haizhu, has been standing for many years. It is impossible for Xiaoxian to believe that there is no trump card in this sect. Hey. This is our White Flame Valley secret. I tell you because Master trusts you so much. Can't you let it out? Bai Ling saw Xiaoxian thoughtful and reminded him. In response, Xiaoxian also nodded and said, "Don't worry, I'm not a child, how could I not know this kind of thing? But, what I'm curious about is it possible to improve one's cultivation by just practicing Bai Yan speed, or can anyone increase their cultivation speed?" You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1146. Hearing Xiaoxian's obviously purposeful question, Bai Ling couldn't help but laugh. She didn't need to guess, she almost knew that Xiaoxian asked this question simply because he hoped to use the benefits of White Flame Valley to increase his cultivation speed. And actually, this news was specially revealed to Xiaoxian by Bai Ling under the instruction of Old Man Bai Yan, and it was also a way to express his gratitude to Xiaoxian for treating Old Man Bai Yan. I knew you would ask that. Actually, it's not just you, all the guests who come to Bian Valley will have more or less thoughts in this regard as long as they hear the news. Bai Ling smiled and said, just like your Yuling sect has the Fish Spirit Pill Tower, our White Flame Valley also has its own treasure land, which is called the White Flame Giant Tower. Hearing this, Xiaoxian also became very interested. He roughly knew. To be regarded as a treasure by a sect like White Flame Valley, this White Flame Tower must be very remarkable. Not to mention listening to Bai Ling. Many people were interested in the White Flame Tower before, which is enough to prove that the benefits of the White Flame Tower must be extraordinary. In that case, I'm actually interested in knowing more about it. Xiaoxian was very moved. Speaking of which, for such a long time, he could feel that these disciples in White Flame Valley were not that simple. Apart from anything else, the disciples in Bian Valley, except for Bai Feng, were all very kind to him. It could be said that they responded to his requests. As long as Xiao Xian needed anything, they would prepare it in advance. Just like now. Bai Ling can take the initiative to bring up the matter of the White Flame Tower. It also indirectly proved that Bai Ling had no objection to him entering the White Flame Tower. Then let's go. Eat something and let you taste the power of the White Flame Tower. A hint of cunning flashed in Bai Ling's eyes, but I can remind you in advance that the White Flame Tower contains the most ferocious white flames in our White Flame Valley. Only if you can withstand the severe pain of the white flame's burning body can you finally get the real reward, the benefits brought by the White Flame Tower 1. Hearing this, Xiao Xian felt a chill on his back. White flame burning body. This sounds painful. Although he knows that if he wants to get more cultivation resources, he must pay a price. There must be something reasonable about the existence of the White Flame Tower. However, this white flame burning body cultivation method does sound a bit unacceptable. Apart from anything else, how can ordinary people have such great abilities? Can you bear this pain? At that time, Xiao Xian saw with his own eyes that Snake Ao, who was half a step into the dragon god realm, was directly burned to death by a handful of white flames. Such powerful white flames would exist in the giant White Flame Tower. Then it's really a bit dangerous. Seeing that Xiao Xian was still hesitant, Bai Ling couldn't help but laugh and explained, "Don't worry, the white flame that Master killed Snake Ao at that time was something only a strong man in the Dragon God realm could have. Even in the entire within the White Flame Valley, only Master has the ability to create it, and you won't encounter it." Really? Xiao Xian breathed a sigh of relief. Of course. Do you think anyone is qualified to challenge Bai Yan at that level? Bai Ling chuckled and said, "To be honest, I grew up in the White Flame Valley, and this was the first time I saw Bai Yan of that level in the past 20 years. At that time, I was also quite surprised." After hearing these explanations, Xiao Xian breathed a sigh of relief. But think about it for a moment. He also felt that this should indeed be the case. In any case, he can be regarded as the benefactor of Bian Valley. No matter how stupid the old man is, there is absolutely no way he can be killed. So to say, he was really interested in this giant White Flame Tower. However, I heard that your Yuling sect has its own Fish Spirit Pill Tower. I heard that in the Fish Spirit Pill Tower, the speed of soul cultivation will be greatly improved. I don't know if I will have the opportunity to go and try it in the future. Fan, Bai Ling asked with a smile. Of course it's no problem. If everything goes well, the Yuling sect will soon reach a cooperation with Bian Valley. By then, everyone will be a family, and the Yuling Pill Pagoda will also be open to the disciples of Bian Valley. Xiao Xian smiled and nodded. Although he currently does not have a confirmed position in the Yuling sect, he can make this decision by virtue of his status as the third disciple of Lord Yuling. As for Han Xian, he is also confident that he can persuade him. If it weren't for the cooperation with Bian Valley, the Yuling sect would have been destroyed. They wouldn't even be willing to take out a mere Yuling Pill Tower, right? That's great. When the time comes, I will ask you, a cultivator of the divine realm and soul, to help me pass the Fish Spirit Pill Tower. Bai Ling smiled slyly. Hearing this, Xiao Xuanke couldn't help being stunned. Looking at Bai Ling beside him, he suddenly realized something. It seemed, he felt like he had been trapped. Since coming to White Flame Valley, Xiao Xian still trusts Bai Ling, not only because the latter has always had a good impression of the Yuling sect, but also because she is beautiful and cute, and her big eyes look more like a cute little loli. But now it seems that Xiao Xian finds that things are not that simple. Bai Ling, this woman, doesn't seem to be a cute little Lolita, but more like a sinister little Lolita. 3 times and 2 times under. He actually persuaded Xiao Xian and asked him to help Bai Ling go to the Yuling Pill Pagoda. Xiao Xian is not saying that his status is very noble, but he is also a cultivator of the divine realm and soul, and his status in the Yuling sect is relatively transcendent. Generally, he will not take people into the Yuling Pill Pagoda casually. But now that he and Bai Ling had talked about it, even if he wanted to refuse, he had no chance. What's more, now he needs Bai Ling to take him to the White Flame Tower for a trial. Think of this. Xiao Xian could only give a helpless smile. Well, if one day you come to Yuling City, I will definitely take you to the Yuling Pill Tower to see it, and I guarantee that you will also gain a lot. After hearing this, Bai Ling showed a satisfied smile on his face. But don't worry. I, Bai Ling, am not someone who takes advantage. Today, I promise to let you enjoy the wonderful functions of our White Flame Tower, and I will definitely not let you suffer. Hear these words. Xiao Xian also nodded slightly. He was not too worried about the White Flame Tower. Only, what he is curious about is that his way of chaos is all-encompassing. Is it possible that he can swallow part of the White Flame? Wouldn't it be possible to enjoy the cultivation speed increasing effect brought by Bai Yan in the future? If that's the case, doesn't he carry a small White Flame giant tower with him? Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1147. Well, since you agreed, we'll go in and take a look first, but, you have to be prepared. Bai Ling said with a smile. Hearing these words, Xiao Xian became a little suspicious. Based on his previous experience, he can roughly understand what kind of pain he has to endure if he wants to get any opportunity. Since the White Flame Giant Tower in the White Flame Valley is so magical, he can roughly predict that entering the White Flame Giant Tower for trial is definitely not an easy task, but, Bai Ling's repeated reminders are a little bit too often? Could it be that this thing is really that dangerous? Thinking of this, Xiao Xian couldn't help but feel a little worried, and asked directly, looking at you, this matter doesn't seem to be as simple as I thought. Is it already so dangerous? Danger is out of the question. Actually, Master also proposed that if you are willing, you can enter the White Flame Tower for trial, but... Bai Ling hesitated for a moment and said, just don't stay in there for too long, otherwise, your body may not be able to withstand the pressure of the white flames inside, and it will affect your cultivation. Hear this. Xiao Xian couldn't help being stunned. He originally thought that for the White Flame Giant Tower, Bai Ling would persuade him to cherish the time inside and seize the time to practice, or remind him of some things to pay attention to when practicing inside. Who knew that Bai Ling would actually say directly that he didn't want him to stay in there for too long? Isn't this a bit strange? Follow Bai Ling all the way. In the White Flame Valley, many White Flame Valley disciples cast envious glances when they saw Xiao Xian and Bai Ling walking together. In the Bian Valley sect, Bai Ling is good-looking and has high talent in cultivation. She is also the direct female disciple of the old man Bian. She has always been the dream lover of almost all the disciples in the Bian Valley. But on weekdays, Bai Ling basically didn't pay attention to these pursuing male disciples. Even though she had been pursuing her senior brother Bai Feng for many years, she still didn't care about him, and she never even paid attention to Bai Feng from the beginning to the end. Now, Bai Ling and Xiao Xian were talking and laughing along the way. Naturally, it also aroused the envy and jealousy of many male disciples in Bian Valley. Xiao Xian couldn't help but look up, and felt a little embarrassed when he saw these burning eyes. Fortunately, this period did not last too long. Soon, Bai Ling took Xiao Xian to a huge tower that towered into the clouds and was bustling with people. There were 4 big characters written on the giant tower, which was the White Flame Giant Tower. Is this the White Flame Tower? It's really extraordinary. Although the distance is far away, Xiao Xian can still feel that there seems to be a lot of white flame power in this giant tower. Of course, it can be said that most of the credit for our current achievements in White Flame Valley lies in this giant White Flame Tower. Bai Ling said proudly, it can be said that entering the White Flame Tower to practice can increase the speed of practice by 30%, and practitioners at the Golden God level and below can enjoy this benefit. After hearing this, Xiao Xian was also very surprised. Golden God realm and below? Is this a bit exaggerated? You must know that the Yuling Pil Pagoda, which is regarded as the most precious blessed place by the Yuling sect, is only effective for practitioners below the Golden God realm. I didn't expect this giant white flame tower to be so useful. This is a bit remarkable. If this is the case, wouldn't it prove that the White Flame Valley can create Dragon God realm powerhouses faster and in greater numbers than ordinary sects? But look at them. It seems that not everyone can enter this giant white flame tower, right? Is that so? Xiao Xian noticed. The disciples of the White Flame Valley who entered the White Flame Giant Tower basically held a strange round stone in their hands. They could only enter after passing the round stone to the guard at the door. Moreover, when a certain number of people enter the giant tower, it will be temporarily closed. Wait until the people inside come out. Only then will the White Flame Tower be opened again. Xiao Xian was really curious about the performance of these people, and continued, looking at it, it seems that not everyone can enter this White Flame Tower, right? Of course. The White Flame Giant Tower is the most precious cultivation place in our section. There are countless catalytic white flames in the Giant Tower every day. It cannot withstand too many people, so you can only enter if you have enough white flame stones. Bai Ling said, taking out 2 round white stones from his pocket. White flame stone. How to get this thing? Xiao Xian asked curiously, I really didn't expect that there are so many restrictions on entering the White Flame Tower. If I don't have this thing, can I not get in? Bai Ling nodded naturally and said, of course, do you know that in our White Flame Valley, this white flame stone is a very important resource, and only some meritorious people in the sect are qualified to get it. But, you healed my master's injuries at that time. If we talk about merit, you are the #1 contributor in our White Flame Valley. So, Master took out a special golden white flame stone to reward you specifically. With this golden white flame stone, you can enter the White Flame Tower unlimited times to practice, and there is no time limit for each practice. How about it? My master is good to you, right? Bai Ling said with envy, you have to know that in the entire White Flame Valley, you are the only one who has this kind of treatment. Even I don't have such a reward. If other disciples knew about it, they would be even more envious. See the golden white flame stone in Bai Ling's hand. Xiao Xian was really a little embarrassed. He could feel that this golden white flame stone was indeed a very valuable gift. It could be said that old man Bai Yan really wanted to thank him, but after getting this thing, he also felt a heavy feeling. After all, he is not a disciple of Bian Valley. The purpose of coming to Bian Valley this time is just to promote alliance and cooperation between Yuling sect and Bian Valley. Now this task is basically completed. Maybe next. He may rarely come to Bian Valley, and isn't the golden white flame stone given by the old man Bian a bit useless? How about it? My master is very good to you. Bai Ling blinked his eyes, handed the golden white flame stone to Xiao Xian with a smile, and said, in the future, you must come to our White Flame Valley often. I guarantee that you will be treated well in the White Flame Valley. All right. Xiao Xian smiled helplessly, but he could only nod in agreement. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1148. Hear these words. Xiao Xian felt a little embarrassed inside. In fact, in his heart, he was also grateful to the people of Bian Valley, and Dan was just grateful. After all, he is still a member of the Yuling section. No matter how grateful he is to Bai Yanggu, he can't go any further. Now that Bai Yanggu has shown goodwill several times and even offered to send golden white flame stones, The purpose behind it is also clear. It is nothing more than hoping that Xiaoxian will join Bian Valley. If this kind of thing were done to others, they might actually nod in agreement. The reason is also very simple. After the old man Bai Yan fully recovered from his injuries, the current strength of Bai Yan Valley is second only to the Spirit Snake Alliance in the eastern part of Nanzan Haizhu, and it is many times more powerful than the weak Yuling sect. There is no doubt about it. With Xiaoxian's talent, if he joins White Flame Valley, he will definitely get more training resources, and his future achievements may be further improved. But now, Xiaoxian has to nod his head for all these. What do you think? Bai Ling saw that he had spoken to this extent, and Xiaoxian still looked indifferent, but also a little uneasy, and continued to ask, could it be that Mr. Xiaoxian is not interested in our Bian Valley, dissatisfied? How can it be? In the past few days, Goigu has taken good care of me and Elder Longtai. It's not like I can't see it. Naturally, I won't have such thoughts. Xiaoxian shook his head, it's just that I am from the Yuling sect after all. Having said that, Bai Ling also roughly understood that Xiaoxian would probably not join White Flame Valley casually, and couldn't help but regretted, well, I thought that with your talent, if you could join our White Flame Valley, you might also be a strong man at the level of Dragon God, since you don't have this intention, then that's it. Moreover, Master has recently been interested in accepting disciples. Then please trouble Miss Bai Ling to tell Sect Master Bai, thank you very much for Sect Master Bai's love. Xiaoxian said respectfully. He knows it too. The fact that Biangu treated him like this was considered a sign of great love, but he really couldn't give up on the Yuling sect directly, so he could only shirk it like this. Speaking of which, even if Bai Ling wanted to say more, he didn't know what to say in the end and could only shake his head helplessly. Disappointed, Xiaoxian also couldn't bear it. It's nothing. At least we are still friends, right? Bai Ling smiled, I'm so kind to you now. If I get into trouble in the future, you have to help me. Of course we are friends. Xiaoxian was a little embarrassed. Oh well. Since we are friends, let me briefly introduce you to the situation of the White Flame Tower. Hearing Xiaoxian's words, Bai Ling also smiled again on his face. Inside the White Flame Tower, there is a giant white flame that has been burning for thousands of years. The flame contains the power of the white flame that is beneficial to cultivation. After you enter the giant tower, you only need to comply with the power of the white flames and slowly increase your power of the avenue, and you will be fine. So simple. Xiaoxian couldn't help being stunned. Before, Bai Ling acted so seriously, as if the White Flame Tower was dangerous. He originally thought that Bai Ling would give many instructions. But who knows? Now, she just said such a sentence lightly. Isn't this a bit strange? Sounds simple, right? Bai Ling said with a smile. However, when you go in, you will know that the situation is not that simple. Is it? In that case, I really have to be more careful. Xiaoxian smiled and said, however, with a beautiful woman like you by my side, I feel a lot more courageous. Maybe this trip will go smoothly, don't you think? Even if you wear it 1,000 times, you will never wear it? After all, Bai Ling was a girl. Being praised for her beauty in person made her feel somewhat comfortable, and a smile appeared on her face involuntarily. Xiaoxian and Bai Ling walked into the White Flame Tower side by side. As soon as he walked in, Xiaoxian could see that in the giant tower, a white-hot flame was burning continuously. Dozens of White Flame Valley disciples were sitting cross-legged on the ground, far or near, enjoying the white flame. Benefits. He could clearly see it. There seems to be an unusual power in these flames, which is constantly strengthening the body and soul of the cultivator. Amazing. This white flame not only strengthens the cultivator's body, but it can also be beneficial to the soul. It's really magical. Xiao Xian couldn't help but sigh. If this giant white flame tower can have an effect on cultivators above the Golden God realm, that would be a really good thing. Bai Ling nodded beside him. This can be regarded as our White Flame Valley's trump card. If it weren't for the existence of this giant white flame tower, we in White Flame Valley really wouldn't be qualified to compete with others. But, there are so many seats here, where is the best place for us to sit? Xiao Xian looked at the people around him and couldn't help but ask. Of course, the closer to the giant white flame, the better. If you want to get a faster cultivation improvement effect, you have to get closer to the giant white flame. But from another perspective, this will also bear more pressure from the white flame. It depends on your choice. Bai Ling said, according to normal circumstances, we are all cultivators below the Golden God realm and can practice on the third level. Above, the pressure of the white flames is a bit too strong. After hearing what Bai Ling said, Xiao Xian also raised his head and looked at the sky, and found that there was indeed a high tower inside the white flame tower. This terrace is divided into 6 floors. The top 6 floors were empty, there was only one old man on the 5th floor, there were 3 or 4 people on the 4th floor, and there were more people on the lower floors. Obviously, this balcony is used to distinguish the realm of cultivators. According to Bai Ling, he should practice on the 3rd floor. At the moment, Xiao Xian was not too showy and just walked towards the 3rd floor. Sit on the 3rd level. Xiao Xian clearly felt that the pressure of blazing white flames was sweeping towards him. Under such pressure, the power of the avenue in his body indeed moved faster. It's really amazing. If the pressure of the white flames in the giant white flame tower can greatly increase the speed of cultivation, it also shows that this place can help the White Flame Valley cultivate various strong men faster. Xiao Xian couldn't help but said, furthermore, judging from the current situation, it seems that even strong men at the level of the Golden God can benefit from it. Doesn't this mean that as long as there is enough time, the Dragon God will be born again in the White Flame Valley? Is it natural for someone to be strong? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1149. Figure this out. Xiao Xian also had a little more expectation on his face. Since he can have such benefits at the 3rd level, if he can go further and move to the 4th or even 5th level, wouldn't his cultivation speed be faster? He turned his head and glanced at Bai Ling behind him, and found that the latter was already sitting peacefully on the 3rd floor, starting to practice with his eyes closed. He simply didn't ask any more questions, raised his feet and walked cautiously towards the 4th floor. Go. There are not many people in the White Flame Tower. Xiao Xian's movements quickly attracted the attention of some Bian Valley disciples, but most people were still a little surprised by his movements. After all, Xiao Xian's realm can be seen. 5 stars in the Blue God realm. With such strength, being able to enter the White Flame Tower and practice on the 3rd level is already a good opportunity. But now, Xiao Xian actually plans to go one step further? Is this a little too bold? Is it possible that you think Bai Yan in this giant white flame tower is joking? It can be said that this white flame is very powerful, and a cultivator may be completely burned by the flames if he is not careful. Young people. On the path of cultivation, it is a good thing to have motivation, but you must also act within your capabilities. The pressure of the white flames inside the giant white flame tower is by no means the gentle flames from the outside. If you are not careful, your burning soul may be extinguished, so it is better not to rush in. The old man sitting on the 5th floor persuaded. Hearing this, Xiao Xian felt a little embarrassed. Originally, he didn't want to be too public, he just wanted to sneak in and quietly sit on the 4th floor of the White Flame Tower to practice, that's all. Perhaps, relying on the powerful pressure of the fourth level of white flames, he could seize the opportunity to raise his strength to the peak of the blue god realm, or even the little golden god realm. But now, he had just made a move and was discovered. This is a bit embarrassing. Speaking of which, he is not a disciple of the White Flame Valley in the first place. Being able to come to the White Flame Giant Tower to practice is already an advantage. It would be a bit arrogant to force his way up to the fourth floor. If you successfully walk up, then naturally it will be great. But if he failed, he would be ridiculed again, and he might even be burned by the white flames. Right now, the Spirit Snake Alliance and the Yuling sect are in the same situation. Who knows when a war will break out between the two sections. If he is injured now, it will definitely be detrimental to the battle. Besides, Xiao had just died in White Flame Valley. Although this guy's death may not be directly related to Xiaoxian, there is no need to think that the Spirit Snake Alliance will hold the responsibility for this matter on his head. And two half-step Dragon God Realm experts died because of Xiaoxian. If Snake Wanlong, leader of the Spirit Snake Alliance, knew all this, no matter how good-tempered he is, he may be ready to kill Xiaoxian himself. Under such circumstances, if Xiaoxian wants to save his own life, the only way may be to seize the time and kill Xiaoxian in the White Flame Valley. Improve your level. Facing a strong man like Snake Wanlong, he needs at least the strength of the Golden God Realm to have a chance to protect himself. Are you really going to try? Looking at you, you don't seem to be a disciple of our White Flame Valley. Just when Xiaoxian was about to take further action, the old man on the fifth floor suddenly asked, "You are so young, are you so eager for quick success? Be careful of destroying your foundation and affecting your future cultivation." "Thank you, senior, for reminding me. This, you are okay." Although it can be said that if he stayed in the Bian Valley honestly and relied on the protection of the old man Bian, he could indeed be said to be in no danger, this was not a long-term solution after all. If you were in the ordinary Kangshen realm, it would be really difficult to withstand such strong pressure. I have been practicing in White Flame Valley for many years. He could feel that this level of white flame pressure was indeed not something that the average Kangshen realm could withstand. Xiaoxian was sitting on the fourth floor. When he started to use the power of the Great Dao on his body, he felt that there was not as much pressure on him as before. He simply continued to ask, "Senior's realm seems to have reached the Golden God realm." Xiaoxian could also roughly tell that although the old man kept trying to persuade him not to come up, he didn't have any bad intentions, he just didn't want him to get hurt. Xiaoxian nodded secretly. Exactly. There was a bit of curiosity in the old man's eyes. "You don't seem to be a disciple of Bian Valley." Xiaoxian was also stunned, and then he was able to understand. At this time. Nice power. Hear this. This is a bit unlikely, right? Under the pressure of such powerful white flames. Xiaoxian also forced a smile. The old man nodded and said, "Yes, I am not an elder of the White Flame Valley, but a wanderer." "What realm?" "I have just broken through the Golden God realm, that's all." After Xiaoxian finished speaking, he walked directly towards the fourth floor of the tower. Even a cultivator like Xiaoxian, whose soul power had reached the divine realm, felt a burst of pressure. In an instant, he felt the pressure of a powerful white flame suddenly appear on his body. He also said directly, "However, although you can't be quick in practicing cultivation, it still requires some challenges. If you just follow the rules, you may not be able to improve your realm in this life. This is the first time I have seen such a talented practitioner in the White Flame Valley. Since this old man has been attracted, why doesn't Bai Yang directly recruit him into his sect? A strong man in the Golden God realm must be a big enhancement to Bian Valley." On the other side, after seeing Xiaoxian actually walking up to the fourth floor, the old man from Bian Valley who just spoke was a little surprised. Obviously, he didn't expect Xiaoxian to be able to do this. Lucky. Thank you, Senior, for reminding me. That is to say, his soul realm has reached the Kangshen realm of the gods, and he can barely resist. In addition, his body also has the dragon body elixir bonus, and the rough skin and thick flesh of the dragon clan are also of great help to him. However, he was even more confused. Senior, it doesn't seem like he is an elder in White Flame Valley. Similarly, it is not Xiao Xian's character to avoid him all the time. But what is helpless now is that he has encountered too many troubles. He knew that it was thanks to the old man's reminder just now that he had greatly increased his vigilance, otherwise he would probably really suffer. In any case, the White Flame Tower in the White Flame Valley is a god-level blessed place that can help the powerful people of the Golden God realm to practice. Therefore, it is reasonable for the White Flame Valley to attract some Golden God realm cultivators. Matter. Could it be said that Bian Valley doesn't even look down on the powerful people in the Golden God realm? Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1150. Present. Although Xiao Xian was curious, he also knew that since some things existed, they might happen for a reason. He didn't ask any more questions and just concentrated on sitting on the fourth floor, relying on the pressure of the white flames in the giant white flame tower. I started practicing with concentration. He could clearly feel that with the help of Bian's coercion, the speed of cultivation had been greatly accelerated. From a certain perspective, he is now running the 6th grade Shenlong Kung Fu, and his speed is no less than that of the ordinary 7th grade Kung Fu. You know, in Nanzan Hai's Hu, even some strong men in the Golden God realm may only have 6th grade skills. Now Xiao Xian is not only very talented, but even the skills he practices are better than ordinary ones. The cultivator is strong, and relying on this alone, entering the Golden God realm is almost a certainty. Several hours passed. In the White Flame Tower, the disciples around Xiao Xian changed one after another, and even Bai Ling got up and ended his training. And he still sits firmly on Mount Tai. It's like he's not affected by the people around him at all. The truth of this made Bai Ling a little confused. What you need to know is that Xiao Xian is not a disciple in the White Flame Valley, and he does not have the way of the White Flame. But now, he can still rely on the power of his body and soul to forcibly resist the erosion of the body by the White Flames. In this regard, it is not something that ordinary Kangshen realm can do. At first, Bai Ling is still somewhat understandable. After all, Xiao Xian himself is a talented disciple, and it is natural that he can do some things better than ordinary people. But the more she looked, the more she discovered something different. She discovered that Xiao Xian's position was not on the 3rd floor of the building, but on the 4th floor. Is this a position that only practitioners at the peak of the Blue God realm can go up to? And even if you are at the peak of the Blue God realm, you won't stay there for long. Therefore, even Bai Ling is temporarily practicing on the 3rd floor of the tower. I just hope I can practice on the 3rd level for a while longer. Who knew that Xiao Xian not only reached the 4th level by himself, but also relied on his body and soul power to persist on the 4th level for such a long time. This was something she did not expect. At the same time, it wasn't just Bai Ling and a group of Bian Valley disciples. Even the old man on the 5th floor just now looked at Xiao Xian with interest, as if he wanted to see how long he could stay in this position. It was beyond their expectations. They originally thought that Xiao Xian, a 5-star Kangshen realm, could only stay on the 3rd level for a while at most. It was simply wishful thinking to enter the 4th level. But now, Xiao Xian has not yet entered the 4th level, and even relies on my body and soul have been on the 4th level for such a long time. This can't be just luck. It must be Xiao Xian's own hard power. What's more important is that even some cultivators at the peak of the Kangshen realm cannot last long on the 4th floor of the tower. As long as they stay on the 4th floor for a while, the power of the avenue and the power of the soul will be consumed. Almost exhausted. Only the strong ones in the golden god realm can resist the pressure of white flames from the fourth level for a long time. But now, Xiaoxian, a 5-star Kang god realm, is actually stronger than the peak Kang god realm. After staying on the fourth floor for such a long time, you still look unscathed? Is it as if such powerful white flame pressure does not exist? Is this a bit too surprising? This kid is really amazing. A mere 5-star in the blue god realm, the power of the soul is no less than that of the golden snake realm, and even, comparable to the ordinary dragon god realm. The old man has rich experience. He soon saw that Xiaoxian's soul had reached the divine realm. This was almost the realm that most of the golden god realm and even the dragon god realm experts could achieve, so he looked at him with surprise in his eyes. Mr. Chen. You are actually practicing in the White Flame Tower. At this time, Bai Ling, who had just walked down the stairs, also showed respect when he saw the old man. Well, I just saw that the two of you came together, Mr. Chen said with confusion on his face, looking at him. He doesn't seem to be a disciple of your White Flame Valley. Yes. His name is Xiaoxian. He treated my master's injury a few days ago, so the master ordered that he can enter the White Flame Tower to practice at any time. Bai Ling smiled and said, so, from today on, you are not the only one from outside the White Flame Valley, Mr. Chen, in this White Flame Tower. Hearing this, Mr. Chen was obviously a little embarrassed on his face. But he didn't seem to know how to explain it. He just scratched the back of his head and looked embarrassed. Master Xiaoxian is also a very talented person. As you said, although Xiaoxian is only in the Kangshen realm, his soul realm has reached the divine realm, and he is definitely a leader in the same realm. So, Mr. Chen, are you interested in getting to know him? Bai Ling also knew. Although Mr. Chen in front of him is only a person at the level of the golden god realm, his strength is said to have reached the half step of the dragon god realm. Otherwise, he would not be so stable on the 5th floor of the building. It's just that for such a long time, Bian Valley has also thought of various ways to recruit, but the old man has always refused. Rather than joining the sect, he would rather be a casual cultivator of Xianyun Yehi. In this regard, even the old man Bai Yan, who was in the dragon god realm, was helpless. However, when Mr. Chen saw the White Flame Tower, he showed a strong interest in the tower and wanted to go in and use the pressure of the white flame to improve his strength. Regarding Mr. Chen's idea, Old Man Bian was very cheerful, directly stating that as long as he did something beneficial to Bian Valley, he could enter it to practice. Return a favor in return. Mr. Chen also naturally said that he could protect the safety of Bian Valley as the outer elder of Bian Valley. Therefore, Mr. Chen has become a special figure in Bian Valley. In fact, when Mr. Chen came, Bai Ling dared to be curious and asked the old man Bai Yan why he should let such a person stay in the White Flame Valley or even let him enter the White Flame Giant Tower to practice. Aren't you afraid that he is a traitor? In this regard, the old man Bai Yan was very generous, directly indicating that the name of this old man Chen must be a fake. However, since he can come to Bian Valley, it is enough to show that he still has some feelings for Bian Valley, so Bai Yang cannot act too stingy, otherwise wouldn't he be laughed at? Say it. Bai Ling was even more curious at that time. She didn't expect that this kind-looking Mr. Chen would actually hide his identity. Doesn't that mean that he might also be hiding his strength? On the surface, Mr. Chen's strength is at the Golden God realm, so wouldn't the real Mr. Chen's strength reach the half-step Dragon God realm, or even the real Dragon God realm?